Hello and welcome to Headset Abuse. Today is the 30th of April 2016. I'm your host Ali Hay, and joining me this week we have Mr. Darren Fotheringham.
Hello.
I thought you were just going to salute there. I really thought you were just going to... Oh, great for the...
No, I don't need to use the words.
Do you not know our regular podcast is now audio described? So it would be fine.
Okay.
I go through and describe every emotion that everyone makes. And I've also got Mark Gibson with me.
Hello.
Hello. He's in HD today.
Yes, apparently.
His face is all high quality. My face is never high quality, even in real life. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks. We had a week off last week.
We did. Life got in the way and all that. But we are back this week, and it has been a doozy of a news week. But never mind about news.
Well, last week was as well.
Yeah, I know, but we weren't here last week.
That's true.
But yeah, Darren, how are you?
I'm good, Ali. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
I'm enjoying the sunshine pouring in through my closed curtains.
So it's not really pouring in then?
Well, it's like pouring something through a very thick sieve.
Okay.
What? That's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And whether or not that's an effective metaphor, I don't know. But yeah.
It is an apt description for you, Ali. You are a thick sieve.
I've got a tattoo of that just above my butt cheek. Thick sieve. Mark's just disgusted now.
It's my rapper name.
Thick sieve.
Thanks, Ev.
Yep.
MC Bad Ladle.
Yep.
Darren, have you been playing games?
I have been playing games.
That's good to hear.
Mostly one video game.
Is it Dark Souls 3?
No.
Is it Dark Souls 2? I mean, we could do this for a while.
No, I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
A stupid amount of Dark Souls 3.
So much so that your hair has just fallen out from stress. It's unbelievable.
Yes, that is right. It was giving me trouble. The more Dark Souls I was consuming, the more wiry my hair was getting. So last night I said, you know what, just get rid of this thing.
You just
Can't be bothered pulling it out. Gotta get rid of it.
Yep.
the Dark Souls music is just playing in the background as he stares in the mirror, just shaving his head, this angry look in his face. You're not worth this!
Did you have a camera in my house last night?
Yeah. Your mirror's two-way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, how's Dark Souls 3?
It's great.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things. I was very curious to hear what you think, because your thoughts on Dark Souls, while are usually quite high, are inconsistent with a lot of the main audience.
Yes, they tend to be. I am very much enjoying the gameplay. It's got fast-paced elements like Bloodborne, but it is still very Souls combat.
Mhm.
My issues so far have stemmed with the lore. I've yet to tie together a story from what I've played.
Isn't that every Dark Souls game though?
No, it's super easy to tie. Well, it's not super easy. It's very easy to tie together a Dark Souls story. It's quite difficult to tie together a Dark Souls 2 story until Scholar of the First Sin, then it gets a little bit easier. And I can see a story in Dark Souls 3, but there's just so much stuff from the previous games. I can't tell if it's just fan service or if it's stuff they actually want to play a story with.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble reconciling it. Plus an area that I discovered just before I finished the game and played through, I was like, what? This makes no sense. I'm very confused now.
Is that the ultimate throwback to the first game that I've seen going about? Is that area, or is that?
One of them involved that area, but no, it wasn't that area that I know you're talking about. I won't mention the names because I don't think Ali's been anywhere near there.
I saw people posting about it on Facebook, so that's how I know about it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the area you're talking about is, but
You were
I'm going to guess Painted Veil?
No, but close.
No.
Very, very close. Like, geographically, very close from that first game.
Wait, geographically as in looking at a map, or geographically as in close to where that is in the game?
Both, because it's close to where it is in the game and geographically right next to it.
Darren, you need to draw me a Dark Souls map.
Have you not seen the really
Dark Souls maps.
I need to have a look around the internet because there's a really cool Dark Souls
I
map.
thought every area in Dark Souls just as if existed in its own universe. And...
No, that is Demon Souls. You use the stones to transport to unknown areas, but Dark Souls is pretty much vertical. It's essentially a tower of areas. Dark Souls 2 is more of a spoke and wheel kind of design, where Majula is your main hub. Lots of spokes go off with little spokes coming off of them. But yeah, you need to check out this because I will be buying it. I've known about it for years, but I've never. How cool is that? And you can identify every area. It's so cool. I'll be buying that. I'll be buying that for my house. Which will be the second person I know that owns one because Sean got one and brought it to my attention. I was like, I must own that. No, must own it. But it's quite expensive. It's like 90 quid for the one that I want. It's large and very pretty though.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Like
we should link this.
Absolutely! Like I'll put this in the comments or something.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling this will be the preview picture for this week.
I was gonna say we should include this in like the notes for the show or something. Yeah. On the lip sync page, so people can also see that really sexy piece of art.
And the sexy looking lip sync page.
And the sexy lip sync because you have been doing quite a lot of work on it, which is still under construction though.
Yep. It's getting better though. It's no longer just text.
But yeah, anyway, back to Dark Souls 3. Yeah, so there's an area right next to Painted Veil that you will find the entrance to that place, if I remember my Dark Souls correctly, which I'm pretty sure I am. And you end up there for a little while in Dark Souls 3.
Awesome.
Do you particularly care about spoilers? 'Cause I can just tell you what it is.
Me personally, not at all.
Well, I'm going to say a few words. Anyone that cares should skip forward about 15 seconds. You end up in Anor Londo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That seems interesting. We won't go too deep into that, but yeah, no, that seems interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say anything else lore-wise and game-wise much for Dark Souls 3 because I don't want to spoil it for people because that game's cool.
You got a favorite way to play it yet?
Naked.
You got a favorite way to play it yet? What's your favorite?
My first playthrough was, as always, I started as the warrior class and I'd done a sword and board kind of playthrough. Second one I started was a caster. I got to the boss and was like, I'm not really enjoying the casting. It's kind of Demon/Dark Souls, and I wasn't a huge fan of the magic in those games, so I kind of just stopped there with that one until I could be bothered. Started a Dex character. He's quite good and quite enjoying the fast-pacedness of it. And then I started a Deprived character, which I'm playing along with Zeph, and that's fun.
I saw like one instance of like almost like a hyper beam, like magic.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I've seen one where like someone, I don't know, it's like someone's gets invaded and they run away from them, and there's like
giant Kamehameha.
But there's three other guys like crouched behind walls, and the guy runs like into this big arena, and the two of them are facing each other, and the guy just bows, and then the other three people just absolutely obliterate him with like three giant hyper beams.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool spell.
But how are you finding it? Like, where are you feeling it lies in your Dark Souls preferences?
I've not had enough time with it. I don't think that I have actually completed it. I'm in my New Game Plus playthrough, so I can see differences between New Game and New Game Plus. But
wait, so is this your first Dark Souls game that you finished?
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I finished. The only other Souls game that I finished was Bloodborne. I'm at the finish line in Dark Souls 2, but I stopped to do the DLCs, so that happened.
And then Dark Souls 3 came out.
Well, no, what happened was I was playing Dark Souls 2 for a very long time, got to the ending of it, all I had to do was go in and fight the what are they called? The Watchers, I can't remember what they're called. The Throne Watcher and the Throne Defender and the Chandra, and then I was finished. It was like essentially a double boss fight, and then do what I want with the ending. But the DLCs included in that game, and I never found 2 of them. But I knew what they were, I just didn't go into them. And I decided to go back and do Throne of the Old Iron King. I have to do Throne of the
Young Iron King.
No. I can't remember what the other 2 are called, but I had to do the other 2 DLCs, and they're very difficult. So they kind of stopped me for a while, and then Division happened, and then Dark Souls happened. So that kind of stopped.
Remember when you were going to play Metal Gear 5?
Shut up, Mark.
Hey, Metal Gear 5 is a really good game.
I know it is, man.
I just remember how much Darren was obsessing over it, and then never actually played it.
I can't remember why I never played it.
Also, in the Division, it is 100% unequivocally 1 hour. It is 1 hour you get to trade.
Isn't this a 2 hour? This is a 2-week argument.
I have checked. It's 2 hours.
It's not 2 hours unless you got more time than everyone else.
I'll tell you what, right, when we get off...
I literally picked up a piece of gear, went into my thing, and it was like 59 and 57 cents.
I will play some Division when we finish the podcast, and I'll team up with a random dude, and I will take a video of it, and I will post that video to our Twitter.
Please do.
Or just our Facebook or whatever, somewhere, and I'll say, like, here you go, Ellie, here's proof, and I'll be right.
That's fine, and then I'll do my proof, and then we'll phone Ubisoft to get an answer and go, what the fuck was going on?
And they'll go, well...
We like Darren more.
Darren has more Uplay points.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Darren bought the 50 Uplay point bonus of you get an extra hour to trade your stuff.
I forgot that I bought that one. Yeah.
I did my first challenging mission in the Division, so I'm now level 30.
Hey, Microsoft.
Yeah, want to do the incursion? Is that what it's called?
Well, no, I need to get gear ready for me.
Yeah, you need to get a lot of gear before you step into the incursions. I've not done any of the incursions yet. I think I'm high enough to do it, but Dark Souls came out at the same time as incursions, so the Division just stopped.
So you need to be 140 to get raid ready, essentially, but it's recommended that you be 160. So at the moment I'm about 120.
I think I'm at 186.
The gear score in that is just weird because it's based on very specific numbers attached to gear.
Yep.
Like 131 is a gear score that you will get on certain pieces of gear. You will not get 130, you will not get 129, it will always be 131.
Yeah, the idea is, rather than being a set of random loots of random qualities, there's a tier of loot. This entire tier is 130. Then the next tier up is 130.
No, 131.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They made it 131 for a reason. I don't know what that reason is.
It's an arbitrary number. It might as well be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
It might as well be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So why the fuck is it 131?
To allow more variation in your actual gear score calculation.
Yeah.
So you don't just get, oh, he's a 131 player. He can be a 156 player.
Yeah, like I'm a 121, I think, at the moment, because that's the average of my gear score. But it's also really annoying that, unlike Destiny, where, you know, if I get something that gives me a bit more light, even if it's not a particularly better piece of gear, if it gives me more light makes me stronger, makes me last longer, blah blah blah. In the Division, that the gear score is just a number, and you can find, like, I found level 28 things that are better than gear scored items.
Yes.
And if I don't equip it, I don't get the gear score, but if I do equip it, I'm not as strong, I'm not as powerful, I lose all those bonuses from that better piece of gear.
Yep.
Also, to recalibrate purple items is ridiculous.
Yeah, you think that's expensive? Try and recalibrate the high ends.
Well, no, because I need to buy one first.
what we should do now that you're level 30, I have a character that I can forcibly drop into the lower end of the Dark Zone areas, because the way that it works is the Dark Zone that you go into is based on the gear not only equipped, but in your inventory and in your stash. So if you have the potential to be a 161 plus, you'll get thrown into the 161, even if your character doesn't have a gear score rating yet.
Okay.
Like, if he's literally turned level 30 and you have the potential to be 161, you get thrown into the high end with the big boys. You have to just equip that good gear. But if that gear is on a different character, then it's not counted. Aye. So I've kind of played around with my 3 or 4 different characters, and I now have a character that is just below the threshold for doing the 161. I think I got to 159 or something like that. So I can walk around that area dominating everything because my gear is actually mostly in the 180 range. I think I changed my pistol and my holster to be low-level green items, so yeah. I'm actually ridiculously overpowered, but my gear score says I should be in the lower item level. So I can take you through and we can farm.
You better watch, you might get permabanned for that.
There's nothing against the rules saying that you can't do that.
Well, there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily against the rules that they're suspending and banning.
I am merely making use of their gear score system.
Yeah, what would be the term? You're exploiting a game mechanic?
That's not an exploit. It's merely math. It's math!
It's merely math.
It's math.
It's inventory management. That's all it is.
Yeah. I didn't want that character to have that particular bit of gear. That character's story, that gun that he has that's really, really bad actually belonged to his dad. It just turns out it's a really shit gun that his dad had. But he doesn't want to let it go. He keeps it on him at all times. And of course it's his dad's holster as well. So, they come as a pair. So
his dad didn't just carry his gun around in his hand, did he?
Exactly. So that's my character's lore reasoning for being just on the threshold. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
Yeah, so what we can do is we can jump into the lower area and farm a bunch of Dark Zone chests and enemies, and you get a ridiculous amount of high ends. All we need to do is watch out for some rogues, but I should be able to destroy them, hopefully.
I've been doing not bad. It was because challenging is genuinely difficult, especially if you go in with only 2 people.
Yes.
And I learned that lesson very quickly. So me and my mate jumped in with 2 randoms, and I've heard that the incursion is not like you need people. You kind of need to communicate more.
Yes.
But on the challenging missions, it's just harder. Like
everything just gets a numbers bump. That's all it is.
Aye. And it is doable with 4 people. A lot more doable than with 2 people.
Oh yes.
So yeah,
that is soloable, but it'll just take a damn long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, just kite everyone.
Yeah. Like, while there was a bug ongoing, I was farming hard missions by myself. Because there was a mask you could get that had an ability called Rehabilitated. And the way it worked, the way it's supposed to work, is when you take a status effect. So if like someone throws a grenade and you get incinerated or blinded or death or whatever, for that period of the status effect, you heal 2% of your total health every second. The problem was that once it turned on, it wouldn't turn off. So all you had to do was the moment you started an area, just throw like a flashbang at your feet, and you were constantly regenerating health.
That's handy.
So you could just literally stand in the middle of an area and shoot things all day, and no one would kill you. So I took that as, I'm going to walk around and do hard mode by myself, which was totally easy.
Yeah, well, if you're constantly regenerating health, it would be.
And then I was walking around the Dark Zone doing the exact same thing. Yeah, people were still killing me because people had ridiculously high gear and it was pre-split, so you were walking at people who were equivalent to now being like 180, and I maybe at the time had 120 or so. I was getting destroyed.
Yeah.
But fighting NPCs and fighting low-level people at my end, you feel like a god. And then when they turned that off, I had that play style stuck in my head.
You needed to adapt back to reality.
So I was constantly just running at the open and going, ah! And then getting destroyed. And going, oh, why did I die? So I go, oh, that's right, I don't have that buff anymore. Damn, I better hide from now on.
Oh.
But yeah, if you've never really done much in the way of Dark Zone, you're coming in at a very weird time, because now that every every big chest guarantees 2 high-end drops, and that every boss guarantees a high-end drop, it is just Rogue City in Dark Zone. There was a guy who, the moment I opened a chest, started shooting at me because he knew I had a high-end. So he was like, I'm going to kill this guy just because he has a high-end.
Rogue City?
Yep. Roguesville, if you will.
It's Thick Civ's new album.
Yep.
Rogue City.
Go back to Dark Souls quickly. The friend of the show, Donnie, recently informed me that he is going to play through all the Souls series games.
Starting at Demons?
Starting at Demons.
Oh,
and I said,
is it an American or are you a British copy of that?
Is there differences? Probably the European one.
Yeah, I would imagine the European
I have
one.
the American version, and there are some very slight differences. I don't know if they ever fixed.
No, it'll be the EU version, because it'll be probably the PlayStation Plus version.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it'll be the EU version.
But yeah, and I was just like, skip Demon Souls. What are you doing?
No, don't skip Demon Souls. It's a good
Fuck
game.
off.
It's a good
Demon Souls.
I'm going back to Demon Souls.
It is a good game. Actually, it was a good game. It's no longer a good game because they've made 4 better ones, significantly better games.
In a world where Dark Souls exists, why would I play Demon Souls?
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, there's a boss that every time he hits you, he takes off levels.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah!
It's awesome. It's freaking cool. It forces you to be a badass.
No!
Yes.
Like, that game's just obtuse. Like, especially now that Dark Souls does exist. Like, see if they went back and remade Demon Souls and just reworked it a bit. It could probably be great again. But
the moment I completed Dark Souls 3, I was in a party with Sean at the time. And
that sounds like a great party.
Yeah, it was alright.
As you completed a Souls game.
And the moment the credits rolled, I went, they really need to remake Demon Souls and Dark Souls for PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I would buy that and play them all over again.
Wasn't there a rumor that they were working on a Dark Souls remaster?
Not that I've heard.
Yeah.
Nah, Demon Souls is just so a different beast at this point.
Yeah, but I'd quite happily do it again.
Of course you would.
Great games. I have only played one other game.
Uh-huh.
This was a game I played last night, and I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's just because it screams I want to be Dark Souls, but I can't be Dark Souls. It's the new, forever been in development Team Ninja game Neo. It's essentially
Ninja Gaiden meets Dark Souls.
Ninja Gaiden meets Dark Souls. That's exactly the description of it. You play it as a samurai, and it's just everything about this game is Dark Souls. From it, you look at the inventory management system, you go Dark Souls. Look at the stat screen, you go, it's Dark Souls. Look at the UI, you go, it's Dark Souls.
Yeah, just go back and play Ninja Gaiden 1. We'll see how close. You'll find out that Ninja Gaiden is the original Dark Souls.
That wouldn't actually surprise me.
That game was fucking tough.
Got to the last boss and then couldn't do it. Didn't have enough health.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I think I got to the Axe Woman's sister, the big demon that flies in through the church, which is a memory I didn't know I had. I got to her, and it took me I think literal months to finish that because I went in with basically no health and just had to fight her.
Yeah, I remember that being a complete dick.
Good game though.
Yeah. Shame about the other two on top of that.
Yeah. You were so excited for 2.
There's 3.
Was it 3 you were
Yeah, it
really
was
excited
3.
for?
And then it's like, they seem to be taking it in a new direction. Looks alright. And then it was just so bare bones.
So is that all for you, Darren?
That's all right.
How is Neil?
Well, I only sat with it for about an hour or so, and for a little while it took me some time to realise the mechanics they were pushing and some of the things they were doing. It was really weird. I've still not figured out some of it, but it's good. But it does scream, I want to be Dark Souls.
You should play Lords of the Fallen then.
I have Lords of the Fallen sitting there. I just never touched it.
It's not
Like Metal Gear Solid 5. Is that where you put Metal Gear Solid 5 in the same category as Lords of the Fallen?
It's in the to-do pile. It's nothing wrong with having the to-do pile.
I'll probably give it another try, but it's alright, but in a world where Dark Souls exists, why would I play a game that wants to be Dark Souls?
Can you please just start every sentence with, in a world where Dark Souls exists?
In a world where Dark Souls exists.
No, but
One cereal.
Yelling at your boss. In a world where Dark Souls would exist, why would I listen to you?
In a world where Dark Souls exists, why would I use Java?
Yeah. It is a Souls-esque game, and is therefore always going to get compared to Souls, and it's nowhere on par with Souls. But it is an alpha build of the game, so there are many changes.
Alpha.
Alpha. I know. They say alpha build of the game though, and it is only available for the next week, I believe, to download, but I don't know how long it'll be playable for. I don't know if it's kind of like a PT deal where you can just keep playing it as long as you have it. Or if
No, I think it's like it basically disables it once it's done.
Yeah, I think it might be, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to give it another go, but it's not doing a great job of being a challenger to Souls right now.
Hey, if it's a game with decent gameplay, then Team Ninja's gone back up after the mess that was Ninja Gaiden 3.
Oh yeah, it is a good-looking game. The character models are very smooth. The combat is alright. It just needs some tweaks. Like the blocking system it's all or nothing. So that if you block, I can block this giant axe with this tiny samurai sword and take no damage. Like what?
Yeah.
No, I should take damage from that. And it's just very. The combat feels a little bit cumbersome right now. It's a little bit too slow. And there are weird mechanics that I just don't understand. Like, there's a thing called Key Blast that it keeps mentioning during my reloading screens, and it's like, I don't know how to do this Key Blast thing you speak of. There's no button, there's no mention in the controls of this is Key Blast. So, yeah.
Mark, you forgot that Team Ninja did come back after Ninja Gaiden 3 to make Yaiba Ninja Gaiden.
No, that wasn't them. That was that was outsourced. It was outsourced. It wasn't a Ninja Gaiden joint.
It was co-developed with Spark Unlimited, but they did work on it, as well as Hyrule Warriors.
Was that Team Ninja?
Along with some other company.
I thought it was mostly Tecmo.
Omega Force.
All right.
And it's Koei Tecmo. Thank you very much.
So it's.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, all right.
How's your week been?
Not bad. Went to see Captain America yesterday.
Wait, what? How is it?
It's all right.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Just all right. Just average.
Yeah.
Worse than Winter Soldier.
No, I would say it's better than Winter Soldier. But I feel like I have a problem with the Marvel movies now that isn't really going away.
Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man was actually alright. I feel like they did a good job with him. He's in more of the movie than I thought he was going to be. Although I didn't hang around for the end. I know there's a bit at the end involving some sort of teaser.
Always a bit at the end.
No, but they have like 2 post-credit things. There's like one mid-credit and one end credit.
That's also quite common in Marvel movies.
Didn't hang around for the end credit
one. I think the only one that's done it is Deadpool, I think. I think the only one that's done it so far has been Deadpool.
Mid and end? No, I'm sure other ones have done it.
I don't think they have. I think
It's
the
either
directional
or
credits
normally,
one.
isn't it? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's right at the beginning of the credits or right at the end of the credits for them. That's never two of them. I'm pretty sure Deadpool's the only one that's had two of them.
Mm.
I have a few issues with the movie, in that it's something that's kind of carries across both the media of like comic book to movies, and that like the big team up movies, there's not a lot of room for character development.
Yeah,
Uh,
that has been an increasing worry when they're saying things like, there's going to be like 50 odd heroes,
I was
or
nowhere near that amount. Yeah, but
no, but
No, it's talking about Infinity War.
Yeah, by the time they get to Infinity War, they're talking about having like 50 odd people.
Yeah, because like the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to come in. You've got Black
Daredevil,
Panther,
like they might bring
Marvel,
in Jessica
Doctor Strange,
Jones,
Jessica Jones.
Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Yeah, there's going to be a clusterfuck of characters in there.
Yeah,
if that's the case, then I'd be extremely worried for Infinity War.
I am extremely worried for Infinity
It's
War.
just going to be a giant fight with no character development at all.
Well, that's the thing. Like Civil War just feels like a bunch of fights strung together loosely. Black Panther's cool. Spider-Man's alright. Again, I feel like the characters portrayed in these movies, whether this is a Disney thing or a Marvel Studios things, are incredibly neutered compared to the comic books. Like, there are things that happen in this movie that should like drive Tony Stark to be a crazed alcoholic, and there's nothing. He's
Yeah. I mean, I wish they had leaned a bit more into the him being an alcoholic thing, because that was always good in the comics.
just some character development, and not worrying about like, oh, we killed 6 people, we're like the worst people in the world now, even though it wasn't our fault. Like, yeah, I have a very big problem with the way that Marvel treats civilian casualties.
Yeah, yeah.
If we can't save this island, everybody dies. But
yeah, the world gets destroyed because Captain America can't save 3 people.
Yep.
But no, like, have either of you finished Daredevil season 2?
No, I've got 3
I've not
episodes to
even
go.
started it yet.
Guys.
I know. I need to catch up.
Because,
Hey man, in a world where Dark Souls exists, why would I watch Daredevil?
yes. But no, it makes me worried. Like, there's talks of maybe putting Daredevil into the Infinity War, or maybe not having his own movie, but appearing in the movies. And I was just like, no, like.
Well, there's no mention of Daredevil in this.
Oh no, I can't
whatsoever.
imagine
None.
it would be in this one, but there's ruminations of it. But Daredevil is so brutal, like ridiculously brutal.
Fuck that. They just showed the teaser for The Punisher. How are they going to convey that in a Marvel movie?
Did they announce that?
Yep, there's a teaser trailer up. Netflix and Marvel have confirmed it's happening. So
That's quick work, because
that was yesterday. That was yesterday that went up.
No, but I'm meaning that's like, considering what Daredevil came out earlier this year.
Yep.
And they were just kind of like, we're thinking about maybe doing a Punisher TV series. Maybe, we'll just see how things go.
But they've probably had it work. Like, it is good to go if the Punisher character seems good from testing in Daredevil season 2.
But that's what I'm saying, is like, the way they were discussing it was like, Disney were like, oh yeah, we had no plans at all to do Punisher, but Netflix were thinking of doing something on their own, and we're happy as long as they do that. I didn't think that they would get like a script and a teaser trailer out.
Don't get me wrong. You don't see anything in the teaser trailer. Like,
does it just go Punisher?
Then there's like some guy tap dancing, and it's like.
And then he just gets shot in the face. Yeah.
And his hand cut off.
Just Soldier of Fortune, the TV show. But yeah, like Daredevil season 2 is really brutal. Like, a lot of it thanks to the Punisher, some of it not.
That torture scene.
Like, that doesn't fly in like Marvel's Disney movies.
There's like, I think Civil War has the most blood I've seen in it, and that's all on Captain America's face.
What, is he shaving one morning and he goes,
Yeah.
I'm bleeding.
These vibranium razors, ah!
Yeah.
It was okay. I just feel like the more Marvel movies I see, the more problems I have with them, in that they tend to go for this cookie cutter approach, and we're afraid to take big leaps on what we should do with these characters.
Yeah.
They don't want to put themselves down a road where they can make a character unusable again, though. Like, oh, we can never use.
But there's so many of them, and also it's comic books.
Yeah, but people, fan services, don't make the kids cry. Yeah. I wish they would stick more to the way the comic books go, like the upcoming new Batman animated movie. Sounds like it's going to be amazing because they're sticking true to the source material rather than making it a kind of kids thing. It's the first animated piece in the series to be getting an R rating.
I don't know if I would say that sticking to the source material is great when it's Alan Moore, but the guy's in that job now. If you haven't seen, he has a book coming out called Jerusalem.
No, I don't need to hear any more, Mark.
No. It's not about what you think it is for some reason. It's like set in like Norfolk or something. But like, if you get the opportunity, go and read the synopsis of this book because it is unintelligible.
I'm just waiting for my animated or live action. I would accept live action Batman based on Grant Morrison stuff.
No.
Why?
No.
Why would you not want to see?
Terrible writer. He's
what? How dare you? I want to see Paul
Can't think of what to do this week. How about Infinite Universes?
I want Paul Giamatti to play Professor Pig. Yeah.
Alright, Professor Pig, okay. Yeah.
You're on board.
Yeah.
I
okay.
actually really like that character. Yes, I do agree with you. Grant Morrison, it's like 1 page in every 20. You're like, okay, that's acceptable. The rest of it, you're like, what?
Yeah, like, is it the Arkham graphic novel that he's got? And it's just, like, everybody raves about it, and it's just incoherent babble.
I'm also waiting for my second half of The Winding Gyre, due out this year.
This podcast is over.
I might buy you that. I might buy you that comic.
And I will videotape me burning it.
Read it. Just see it through.
I lost all respect for Kevin Smith when he was like, yeah, and then I got high, woke up the next morning, and I had written Batman. It was just like, oh, that explains it.
It really did. Baphomet.
I think it's very interesting that at some point you said, I have respect for Kevin Smith.
But this was how long ago, though?
The Winding Gyre came out 7 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, was it longer than that? I think it was 2009.
It might have been earlier. It might have been like 2007, 8.
That's what I'm thinking. And I'm worried. Oh, my computer's acting up.
No. These are the questions that will remain that need unanswered.
They need to be answered, Mark. They need to be answered. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need to ask Kevin Smith why it's taken him so long to.
Just why? Just the one word. Why?
Just why, Kevin? Okay, my keyboard's just not working anymore. So cool.
So games. I've been playing a couple of half games and a full game.
And a full game, so okay.
Yep. I played the Doom beta, obviously, for about a couple of weeks. I thought it was alright. Reminded me more of Quake than of Doom. It's very high very fast paced. It's in terms of the aesthetic and the environment, very Doom-like. Like here's like this flaming hell pit with pentagrams all over the place, but you're in this like bright pink Spartan armor if you choose to customize it that way. It's almost kind of like Halo meets Quake.
I've heard it be compared to Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Didn't play that, but
which I have played a significant amount of and really, really enjoyed. That like, and that was the first thing. Like, I've not been too amped for the new Doom. Not because I don't think it will be good, just because it's, I had Doom when I was younger, never really played it, and then completed Doom 2 about 3-4 years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever played that. So
I had a lot of fun with Doom 3, but
never played Doom 3.
There are two sides of a camp on that one. There are people who love Doom 3 and there are people who hate Doom 3.
But to hear it be described as that, like that, and it seems to be more in the sense of like the way that they brought back Robenstein. It's similar. It's not necessarily
totally.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with it. They essentially had two modes available for the beta. One was Team Deathmatch, and the other one was almost like a moving capture the flag, where, well, not capture the flag, like kind of territories where the actual thing moved on a rail. Then you basically had to walk around and defend it while it went through the level.
King of the Hill.
Yes, except it was always moving.
Yeah. So that's at least interesting. Let's try.
Yeah. Weapons seemed really cool. Most if not all have like a secondary ability. So like the rocket launcher, you can detonate in the air. Plasma rifle, the secondary fire of that will like let out this giant pool of plasma that anyone walks through will like just get like area of effect damage, and it will like gradually eat away at their health for a while. So you can strategize around with that. So in a lot of cases, like I would back around a corner when somebody was like coming around, throw down the plasma, and then switch to the rocket launcher and just basically like, destroy them. A lot of fun.
You've got this triple barrel shotgun and the one where you shoot it and the two grenades wrap around like a bolo.
Well, there's the super shotgun in this one, which does insane amount of damage. And what else? They had a few weapons available, but I tend to stick with the either the shotgun, the plasma rifle, or the rocket launcher, because Doom. No, a lot of fun. I would totally maybe go back and play the single player, depending on the reviews and stuff. I think it's one of those ones that's kind of sitting on the fence until I see some critical acclaim hit it. If not, maybe one of those ones to pick up cheaper. So.
I want a new Bulletstorm.
That's a completely different developer.
I know, but just you're talking about
Bulletstorm.
You're talking about like secondary weapon firing, and then it got me thinking. And Bulletstorm was cool.
No, it wasn't.
What were they called? Skill kills? Was that what that's what it was called?
Yeah, skill kills.
Yeah.
I remember doing that review way back then.
That game was really good.
I was forced to play like the first level of that game to get video footage. It was horrible.
That game is really good. Like that game is way better than it had any right to be.
It's not.
The bit where you control the giant monster?
I never played that. I literally played I played it for about half an hour to get footage, and I was like, nope, done.
It's one of those games I think like grows on you the more you're with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There are problems with it. I think it has a severe lack of content. Like the multiplayer mode was just...
the multiplayer mode was terrible. Like, it was a really pretty good 6 to 10 hour campaign.
Yeah.
And I was happy with that. And then I tried the multiplayer and the wave-based mode, and I was like, nah.
And they finished it in 20 minutes, and you're like, yeah, okay, don't need to go back to that anymore.
But no, the actual campaign I really enjoyed. I thought it was great.
Dick tits.
Oh yeah, that shit was ridiculous. But it was really funny to watch that stuff go. Like, he's like robot buddy, his cyborg buddy, and then it was weird. It was this horrible joke-like humor mixed with this pretty interesting, at sometimes like relatively deep story. Like, these characters had depth. They were horrible people, but horrible people with depth.
Yeah.
Bulletstorm 2!
I don't know what people are working on these days after Gears of War Judgment. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Probably.
Let's see. What else have we been playing this week? The other thing I've been playing, surprisingly enough, was the beta for Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Why? Like,
because I got a code for it. So
uh-huh. But
I
why?
played.
Why? You don't like.
So
You don't like Mirror's Edge anyway.
this is why Therese played it first, because
Okay.
Therese was a big fan of the first one.
Ah, so
So
Therese has taste in your house.
um, I guess right. So the beta is maybe about 3 hours, 3 hours worth of content, which is fairly significant.
That's pretty significant.
You get like a couple of the main story missions in there. There's like a bunch of side quests. You can create user-generated races.
Cool.
So you basically pick a start point and an end point, and then just go. And then like other people on your friends list can see them and interact with it. They've changed the way that traversal works because you no longer have everything at your disposal from the outset. There's now a skill tree. So you get experience points for completing missions and getting collectibles, and then you can spend them on when you upgrade to like either enhance
You can
your
only wall run at level 3.
yes, like actually, they're
You don't get
they've
legs until 4 hours in.
they've enhanced the combat. No gunplay this time.
That's good.
You basically have a light attack and a heavy attack, and you can like combo them together, or like you can knock guys into each other, they'll take more damage, or like knock them into like bits of the scenery, they'll do more damage that way.
It's the best first-person melee combat since Xenoclash.
No.
Thanks, Mark. Just that blank stare.
I knew what you were talking about, but I was like, no.
Is the melee combat decent?
It doesn't feel like it has enough weight around it, if you know what I mean. If you're doing like a hard kick, it doesn't feel like there's enough impact to it.
Yeah.
You will basically like just go by sheer luck of like, okay, I'll hit this guy into this guy. Maybe they'll hit, maybe they won't. If they'll stagger for a bit, if they hit something else, I'll try and run up and kick them. You can do a lot of the combat like off of moves, like so if you choose like you're for wall running, you hit like the heavy attack button, you will like basically go down and take them out in a hit. Interestingly, if you were like in a chase sequence or something and you want to keep momentum going, you hit the light attack button. It will basically knock them out of the way or knock them down. You will continue running while you do it. So they put little changes like that are okay.
Trying to make it a wee bit more fluid, like
yeah, there is that fluidity there.
Because that was the thing. That was one of my problems with Mirror's Edge, was that there was just so many of these moments where you're getting this really great stream of movement, and then all of a sudden the controls will just kind of jank out for a minute, and then you're just staring at a wall, not being able.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of that left,
Yeah.
like left over. Didn't experience it too much.
I mean, I don't think it'd be a very difficult thing to completely get rid of, and also if it's really easy to just fluidly move through the entire game, then it's not really a game, it's just a moving forward simulator.
Well, so that's the thing now. The biggest change to the entire thing is that they've made it open world.
That's weird. Are you still on rooftops?
So yes, you are on rooftops, open world. You cannot go down to the lower level. According to the map, there's like underground sections and there's like overground. But yeah, like that's the biggest change. The Trez like was really on board with the kind of story stuff. The side missions were kind of lacking. There's a ton of collectibles which seemed kind of only there to really build up your experience bar. But like the main problems that both she and I had with the game were that visually is just like the original one, you had this very striking red and like white, and like, it was very novel back then. It just comes across as dull now. Certainly, like I don't know how much horsepower is going into like the way the environments are rendered or whatever, but like your skybox and stuff and like the places around you just seem very like one-dimensional, like almost like here's like a prefab kind of flat image that we've got for this building over here. It doesn't seem to have like that kind of like sense of depth that it should have for something you're looking at. Say, it looks very like, while it comes across as stylized, it also comes across as like, yeah, but it's just we're not going to put very much effort into the way it looks. It looks very basic. And considering like this game's been in development for God knows how long, you would expect it to be like, we've got this little area, everything else looks fantastic, but whether or not that changes between now and the actual release, I don't know.
Well, you definitely seem a bit warmer on this one than you did the first one.
Well, that's probably because they removed the gunplay out of it, so we'll see how it goes.
What's so difficult, Mark? You wait until that less than half-second moment where the gun turns red, and then she goes... And
so there's none of that in this one.
Gone.
There's none of that in this one. You basically have like a dodge mechanic now where if you hit the right trigger, you can basically strafe around guys and then use your positional advantage to kind of hit them in the back or whatever. But yeah, it's more interesting than the original in some ways, but in a lot of ways it seems lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that full release pans out. But at the moment, kind of lukewarm on it.
Lukewarm gravity.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, kind of lukewarm on it. On the other end of the scale, though, I went back to Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and absolutely loving that game. Basically,
I was going to say, do you think you'll do what I do and just play up until a certain point over and over again?
No, I
Have you completed that game?
No. So
Is that the plan?
What we're going to get to. Yeah. Just gradually eating away at it, like getting all the ginger tokens and all the jiggies that I can. Still pretty early on, maybe about 15 to 20 jiggies into it. So I've got Banjo Land unlocked,
right.
Which is the 3rd level. But I haven't.
That game's so good.
That game's fantastic. Like that's from the art style to the mechanics of the game to the soundtrack. Like everything about that game is absolutely fucking incredible, and I really should have finished it.
Some might say it's the best Banjo game.
Some might say that, yeah. Yeah. It's not my favourite, but yeah, it's.
It's your favourite, just best.
Having played through all three, played all three recently. Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where it just hits you with how much fidelity there is and everything. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that IP.
Nothing.
Oh, they can't do that. They need to bring out another one.
Why?
Because it needs more Banjo.
Closest you're going to get is the spiritual successor game.
Ukulele.
Yep.
I'll play that. Isn't that due this year?
No.
No?
Well, they say it probably will be, but I don't think it is going to come out this year.
Are we in a Mighty Number 9 situation here?
I think it might be a Mighty Number 9 situation.
Although that's been having how many delays now?
It's weird for you to say, like, oh, yeah, like, they need to do something with the Banjo license, because you're not usually a person that's like, come on, take advantage of my nostalgia!
No, I'm all for, like, Banjo, because, like, Nuts and Bolts was, a great experiment of how to do something different with an existing license, so if they could do something similar with that.
Yeah, but it's also 8 years old.
Exactly. It's been 8 years since a new Banjo game.
Let it go. Do something else.
Yeah, Mark.
What's the pirate game they're doing?
Oh, Sea of Thieves?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, I'll totally play that. But yeah, I want more Banjo. All the stuff that Rare have in their back catalogue, like, in case you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of stuff coming back from the dead, like Killer Instinct.
Avatars.
And Avatars, yeah. Avatars just came back as well.
So they didn't bring back Killer Instinct.
Yeah, but they had to sign off on it.
Microsoft probably had to sign off on it.
Yeah, maybe.
Considering they bought Rare, they probably own their IPs.
Good point.
But that would make sense. Usually how these things work.
I don't think they went, do you know what we'd like to bring back but not do any work on? Killer Instinct.
No, Iron Galaxy's working on that. Yeah.
So, and is that all for you, Mark?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Hey, Mark, you know what you've not been playing?
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Don't worry. I know.
Hey, do you know what it is, though?
Yeah.
Why
begins with a D, ends with an S.
Dex.
Yep. I haven't been playing Dex.
That's fair enough. Darren, you've not played Metal Gear Solid 5 and you own it. You have no leg to stand on.
Yeah, I do. I didn't start it. He has. He just keeps abandoning the game.
Exactly. At least he's made an effort.
No, he hasn't. He went nah, and then stopped.
Don't worry, Mark. Dark Souls is the worst Dark Souls. Dark Souls 2 is the
No,
worst
it's not.
Dark Souls game.
No, it's not.
That's true. I don't know what Dark Souls 3 is like. Play Bloodborne.
Can't yet. I'm waiting for my PS4K.
I prefer calling it the PS4000.
I think you're finding it's called Neo, guys.
Actually, no. You'll find
I want the Trinity version.
it's not had an official name released yet. Darren.
Those
Yes,
are the
but its
version.
development name is Neo. So you can only really refer to it as Neo.
Well, let me go and break out my Natal then. Fuck
Okay.
you. So I've had The Witcher sitting in my PS4 for a week now, going.
I was thinking about that. You were so hot on that game, and you were like, "It might be the best game I've ever played," and then you just abandoned it.
It's the same thing that happens all the time. It's something that like I put in a lot of hours into that game, and I do plan on going back to it. But it was just other things come out, and I still stand by that statement. I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. Which was amazing that in last year there were 2 games that I considered one of the best games I've ever played.
What was the other one?
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
That game's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't play The Witcher this week.
Ah!
So, you know
Thought
how
about it, though.
I did. I got it out, put it in my PS4, and went, MLB The Show is only £40. So I picked up MLB The Show 16. There's a theme to my life at the moment, and apparently it's baseball. MLB The Show is really good. I genuinely, I had no plans of talking about it this week, and I won't spend long on it, but I was just shocked at how good that game is. It's possibly the best sports game I've ever played, but just in the terms of things like the commentary is really fluid, it's really natural. There's very, very little of one guy starts a sentence and then because something else happens, it just cuts that sentence off and does something else. Okay. It's like they will finish that sentence and then, and say the inning ends and they'll go, oh, we'll need to wrap that up because that's the end of it. They put little things like that in naturally so that it all does tie together, and I just really like that. There's so many sports games that I'm sick of hearing the same 5 lines over and over again. And they've got a really good variety of modes. You've got your, as every sports game does, your be a player mode, your franchise mode, and they're all really in depth. And the weird, so they've got a mode called Diamond Dynasty, which is their FIFA Ultimate Team. You collect cards and create your team through the cards. But they're a lot better. FIFA Ultimate Team, you don't have to pay for, right? It's just one of those things that if you pay for it, you get better cards, you get better.
Yeah.
Which I've always never checked out because I'm just it's money. If I want to play FIFA Ultimate Team, I would spend money. Also, I don't want to play FIFA Ultimate Team. But it's like that, but they introduce it a little bit better. They make it seem a bit more personal and less we're just trying to get money out of you. And they've added a mode called Conquest Mode, which is basically Risk meets baseball.
So you're taking over the world with baseball?
You're taking over America with baseball.
All right.
Mainland America specifically, not including Alaska. But yeah, it's America's broken up into this, 300 odd hex area, and all the Major League Baseball teams have had
Civ baseball.
but it's so Risk. It is just Risk. Because
so your baseball tank shows up and you're like,
mm-hmm.
I'm invading Poland. You're like,
but it is. It's you play 3 inning games, so they're shorter. But your troops are fans, so you're moving because it goes through the same turn order that Risk does. It's you make an attack, there's an extra bit where you play one team, and depending on the difficulty, you get a certain number of their fans. And then you reinforce by adding troops to your areas, and then you can move troops, and it is just Risk, but you play baseball in between, and collect cards as well. But yeah, it's just really, really weird. This weird fucking territory control game and a baseball game.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a weird match.
But I'm really enjoying it. It's quite simple, but it works really well.
Cool.
And I'm like, as I said, I'm not going to go too far into it. It plays really well. Most of the animations, like, it all looks really good and it all plays really good. The only thing I find a bit weird is sometimes moving the guys, like just their general run animation, can look a bit bad. Like, it just looks dated. Like they're kind of like, but the rest of the time, it all looks fantastic. But yeah, I'm just really, really enjoying it.
Cool.
I've not really. It's been
quite a week
for me. So I've not really been playing anything else. I've had a couple of goes of things like Duck Game and Gang Beasts, which.
Yeah, I saw you on Steam playing those. So it was like
really, really good. It's one of those. I've got a nice wee collection of those games where you've got a couple of mates over. If you've got enough controllers, you'll just grab one and play a ridiculous game. Speedrunners, Duck Game, Gang Beasts, Samurai Gun. I really want to pick up Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Do you know that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping to maybe do this week, and then I'll hopefully report back next week, because that game looks so much fun.
Played any Kerbal since the update?
Not since that big, the one where because they've finally completely ported over to Unity, haven't they?
Yeah.
I've not played it since then.
I've not played it. I need to load that up.
It's really good.
It's been sitting in my Steam queue since like Valentine's Day, so I need to get that out at some point.
I think if I go back to it, so I was doing the kind of like career mode. You've got a budget,
Yep.
You've got certain, and you have to unlock parts. And I found myself just hitting a wall with that I just couldn't find a way to do it, because you need complete tasks. So it's like, hover over this area at 20,000 feet at this speed, and I think I'm just not that good at judging how to make that happen.
As far as I'm aware, I think they've added a lot more to the tutorials and stuff, so hopefully that should help in that regard.
Because the tutorials are good for just getting you off the ground and like doing the very basics, but for the finer points, it's not amazing at teaching you. But I might go back and try it with just doing, I'm going to build a ship and I'm going to try and get to the moon. Like,
Yep.
Just set myself goals rather than trying to get the game to. But no, not played that a lot. I should go back and try it after that update.
Well,
Yeah,
you'll do really well at No Man's Sky then. The game with no story. You have to use your imagination.
Cannot wait for No Man's Sky.
It's just a ridiculous concept for a game. Like, we've made the game with no story. Just make it up as you go.
No,
But this isn't the first one though. Remember, like Elite did this like however many 20 years ago.
Elite is just playing off of Eve. Where it's just
No,
planets.
Elite was before Eve. Elite was like an Atari game.
Yeah. And No Man's Sky has a story.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay,
Well,
you have an objective. Get to the center of the universe. That's not a story.
Well, no, but
There
Sounds
is
like
no
Sounds
story.
like more story than Mass Effect had.
there's more story than Dark Souls 3 has.
That's not true.
Why?
I follow a narrative in Dark Souls 3.
Well, the game's not out yet, so I can't follow the narrative yet.
There is no story in that game, though.
That's not true.
Show me a reference to a story in that game.
Get to the center of the universe, something will
That
happen.
is
That is a reference.
that is not a story.
That's a reference to a story.
That is an objective. That is not a story.
No, but something will happen. The fact that there is world building, a certain things are there for a reason. Like, there is narrative reasons for there to be space cops all over the place. Like, there is a story.
Apparently, they have added NPCs and stuff and actually like narrative stuff to it. So I know the early stuff they showed was just like get to the center of the universe, but I think they've actually had to add more.
I mean, like, that's like saying there's no gameplay 2 months ago because they hadn't shown any of the fucking gameplay. Like, they have been very secretive about this game overall. To just say that
it's like the new Doom. I don't know. There's a story in Doom. It might just
there's no story. That you've played the beta. It's just multiplayer.
Yeah.
The story is there's a trail that you need to stand in and shoot guys.
Also pentagrams.
Also Space Pink.
Yep. You can do the Charleston dance. Yep. So should we move on to news then?
Yeah. Either of you guys on Amazon Prime?
I am.
Yeah, well, you can continue buying games. Go you. Yeah, so Amazon are restricting non-Prime members from buying certain games.
Darren, you investigated this, didn't you? You said some of the ones that were on that list were available to buy.
Yes, I had a quick look about, and Grand Theft Auto 5, which is the one that everyone seems to be quoting, is not being available, along with games like FIFA 2016 and stuff. I could buy that still without having Prime, but FIFA 2016 was showing as Prime only. So whether they just hadn't implemented it and it's supposed to be on the list, I've not checked after that first day. Yeah, there are definite restrictions there.
So the original story was that Amazon had extended its Prime exclusive items to make sure that only Prime customers could buy certain video games. Games including GTA, PS4 versions of GTA 5, Rainbow Six Siege, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which I find a weird one. Like, who's going to be like, oh man, I need to pay 80 quid a year so I can buy Assassin's Creed Syndicate?
It's supposed to be pretty good. But,
yeah. But are you gonna spend 80 quid a year, or are you gonna just go, well, I'll buy it somewhere else then? Like,
I don't know. I think like obviously I'm embedded in this ecosystem. Yes, Darren, very good.
I just said, yeah, I read it somewhere and I went to find it.
Right. Yeah. As somebody who is embedded in the Amazon Prime ecosystem, like, even this like still bugs me, like, because you're only going to lose out on sales, which is really really dumb, and like you might have people like more publishers going, well, we don't want to be involved in this, so that at the end of the day, it might take the games stuff might taper off. Darren, stop posting links to the chat.
That's what I can do. That's why I have a chat.
But yeah, like, in the US, they offer Prime customers like severe discounts on like new release games, so games are like $40 instead of $60. Why they couldn't have just done that instead, I don't know.
Would make a lot more sense to me. It's just stupid to completely restrict your user base to people that are giving you 80 quid a year.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, this only applies for games that are sold through Amazon directly. You know, if it's a third-party seller, you're not going to be restricted on that.
Yeah, but it is going to lead to a situation where, like, Amazon were the only people that you could buy the collector's editions of Dark Souls 3. So the ones that came with the statue that I got, or the two different statues that you could get for a ridiculous amount of money. It's going to be like, well, you can only get these if you're a Prime member. So not only do you have to spend 300 quid for the game you were thinking about buying, you have to spend 80 quid to give us this thing for the year.
Yeah, and
that's just bollocks. That's like, no.
Yeah. Because was it not that they restricted non-Prime members from like pre-ordering games?
No, you can still pre-order games.
There was something recently about, like, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, about Amazon doing something, you know, basically the predecessor to this.
If it was, I didn't see it. It might have been like maybe collector's edition, something hidden behind Prime or something, maybe.
But yeah, I just find that a weird move.
Yeah,
I can't see how it benefits them at all.
It doesn't. I can't see the plus side of this as a business move. But then, not business guy.
Business guy.
Business guy Darren.
I'm not that guy. Don't call me
Hot
that.
business scoops with business guy Darren.
Business guy Darren featuring Thixiv.
I'm not a business guy, I said, so don't call me business guy.
Business guy Darren says, "Don't fuck it up." That's your motivational poster right there.
Yep, that's me. Yeah, it confused me when you sent that. I thought you were some kind of like really weird delayed April Fool's bullshit or something that was done wrong. It's like, no.
That would be a really fucking late April Fool's.
Yeah.
There's no more Xbox 360s. That's it. They're gone. Whatever.
No, there are no more new Xbox 360s.
No,
Burn your Xbox 360s. You don't need them anymore.
burn your Xbox 360s or Microsoft
I do
will do it for you.
I still need my Xbox 360. I don't have an Xbox One to be my emulator.
Tough. Burn it.
No, I'm not gonna burn it.
They're going to red ring anyway.
That's
They're,
it.
they're going to flick that switch and they'll all just, whoa, we're done.
Two people turn keys together. Press a button.
That would be horrible.
So yeah, just over a decade, man. Microsoft is stopping production of the Xbox 360.
Yep.
Which, man,
It's the end of an era, man.
the final inhale. The Microsoft head Phil Spencer said that the Xbox 360 owners have spent 78 billion hours playing games and 25 billion hours within apps. That's 103 billion hours.
Cool.
A long time.
Got to wonder how many of those consoles were actually sold and how many were replacements for Red Rings.
That's. I mean, they shelled out $1 billion at that point. $1 billion to fix that problem.
Because it was nuts, though. It was like, I've never seen anything like that before. Where like, I can't remember how many I went going through. Maybe about 4.
I think I went through 3 or 4, but I think one of them was an upgrade, not a break.
Right.
I think I think mine broke, and then I was, they extended the warranty, so got a new one, upgraded, that broke, got a new one.
I have never had Red Ring.
I have never owned an Xbox. You've never had a Red Ring?
Nope.
God, when did you buy your Red... So you've still got an original Xbox 360?
Yeah.
My disc tray doesn't work. It's really annoying. I have to, pry it open with a screwdriver.
I eventually upgraded to the Slim, but that was just because... No, I still have it and it still works. I gave it to my folks and they use it for watching Netflix and shit, and it still operates perfectly for them.
It's gonna any day now. Any day.
I've had that thing for years and years and years, and not even the suggestion of a hint of a flutter.
It's gonna red ring, and then on the screen it'll say, "How about you buy an Xbox One?"
I'll say no.
Force upgrade.
Yeah.
Force upgrade of you should upgrade to Xbox One.
Xbox One is now ready to install.
You can only delay it once, and it does it forcefully.
Trust me, I've delayed Windows 10 a lot.
Just upgrade.
No.
No, don't. I'm going back to 7. It's too naughty.
I have no problems with
I'll
it.
upgrade when I get that new computer I keep talking about.
Yeah. Well, I would assume it would have it on it, wouldn't it?
No, that's what I'm saying.
That entirely
building it?
depends on if he builds it or not.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll get Windows 10 for that, but I can't be bothered.
I like Windows 10. I've not had a problem with it.
Oh no, it's nothing against Windows 10. I just resent the fact that it's like, hey, we're installing it right now, and I'm like, no, don't.
Did you see the live weather broadcast where the woman?
Yes, the update
was interrupted.
Yeah.
Just from the off camera, apparently somebody was yelling, "Hit no!"
So yeah, that's the no more Xbox 360s. Oh well.
Sad.
Yeah. I think I've still got a broken one. I need to throw it out. It is official. Official.
Oh, for sure.
Official. Pierre Molyneux's dead. Well, I say Pierre Molyneux, Lionhead.
Pierre Molyneux wasn't even there.
Exactly, because he's dead. He has ascended to the ethereal with his dog.
He's on the big rail to heaven.
Not real.
It's not on rails.
Hit the horse.
It's not on rails.
No. Yeah, Lionhead. But Microsoft has officially closed Lionhead and cancelled Fable Legends.
And this was yesterday. The entire studio basically just shut down. So,
which is a shame because it's one of the longest standing developers in the UK.
96 it was established, I want to say.
Yeah. I'll never get that Theme Hospital to.
I don't know. I bet Microsoft still owns the rights to that.
I'll never get my Theme Hospital to. Yeah.
Well, you will. You just have to play so much of it as a demo mode, and then you have to pay to unlock your next wing.
And I have to be an Amazon Prime subscriber, and there's no story.
Wouldn't it be EA that actually owns the Bullfrog stuff?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
why I
it would
was
be-
saying it, because of the Dungeon Keeper stuff.
Alright, yeah. There you go. That was more for my benefit than anyone else's.
No,
Thinking out loud.
it's going to be an MMO. It's going to be called The Theme Hospital.
The Theme Hospital. It's the reboot. The gritty, dark reboot.
Theme Hospital Online.
That would be terrible. It's like it's like SimCity, but the rival hospitals are real people.
Now, what it is you get to play the role of a developer, creating the hospital as you see fit, but other players play your board of directors and say whether you can or can't do stuff.
So it's theme hospital.
Yes.
What the Clown Hospital?
Theme Hospital Management Simulator.
I'll wait for the sequel. Theme hospital. It's a theme hospital simulator that
Theme
you
Squared,
play.
Hospital Squared.
That you play in a hospital, exclusive to MRI machines. Wow, that's devastating. I hadn't seen this story before.
Yes, this broke yesterday.
Do you want to take this one, Mark?
So the PlayStation Network sales, the revenue generated just by PlayStation Network sales, not including retail or like console sales, was it 570 million yen? Is that correct?
I don't know.
I can't see a number.
I've not got the figure here because it was in a tweet. Yeah, I think it was somewhere about there. Let me try and pull the figure up. Basically, like PlayStation Network had a pretty good year. We'll see. Whether that's people would agree with the download speeds or not, I don't know. It's in here somewhere.
I've never had too much of an issue with their download speeds.
No, I've heard people saying it's like
it's a wee
snail.
bit slower than I would like, but
Mine goes between,
do a
Doing
couple
it-
of gigs in 10-20 minutes.
over wireless, it's abysmal.
Okay. Yeah, I always, where I can, hardline my consoles.
I've got to the point where, see, whenever I'm like downloading an update that I want to use or installing a game or whatever, I always just connect it to the LAN. But even then, it can be spotty. There's times when I'm getting, I can do an entire game in 20 minutes, and then there's other times where it's like, nah, just go away for a couple hours. We'll not let you know.
Yep. So the actual amount was 529 million yen. Wait, no, 500. Okay, there's 529,000 million yen. Is what it would be. I keep forgetting Japan money is just crazy large. So Nintendo's overall revenue, including console sales, software sales, and everything, was 504,000 million yen.
What's that in dollars? And then
If we
what's
just
that
use
in
the
pounds?
Americanized system, just take off the thousands and make it billions.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's what.
Maybe 504 billion yen.
So you go.
Except, of course, it's not right because that's not actually what it would be. But
no, it's like
American.
Put it this way, like that's a stupid amount for.
Yeah.
Considering that's just PSN, never mind.
That's nothing to do with retail sales, nothing to do with
console sales.
Just purely sales made on PSN.
Purely me buying random things.
Purely you buying all the FIFA Ultimate stuff that you need.
Hey, fuck your football. Baseball or death. That's the baseball motto.
Baseball or death.
Oh, fuck your football is baseball.
Yeah!
That's some motto you guys got.
It was originally said by the founder of baseball, William A. Baseball. That's William, middle name, initial A, baseball.
Yes, not that William was a baseball.
Yes. From William, 24, a baseball. But yeah, that's a lot of money. I have so many PS4 games, it's unreal. I was just looking the other day at... What?
Unreal 4? Or the original engine? No, never mind.
Terrible joke.
Yeah.
I have one PlayStation 4 game, I think, and that's Journey, because you get that for free if you've bought the PlayStation Network version of Journey. So.
Do you?
Yeah, if you've bought PlayStation Network version of Journey on PS3, you get the PS4 version.
What?
Yeah.
Like for free?
Yes, because you've already bought it.
No, but but at that time it was a PS3 only game.
Yeah, but
and then they. Sorry, Mark. I didn't assume that the remastered version was given to me for free because I bought the last one.
It's not remastered. It's just got a higher frame rate.
It looks better. It looks better than the PS3 version did.
No, you can totally play that on your PS4 now.
Fuck you. Oh, do you not know this?
Dropping truth bombs, Ali.
That wasn't a truth bomb, that was a knowledge bomb.
Should we move on to probably the biggest news of the week then?
That I can download Journey?
Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, we should move on, and you can do that because I'm downloading Journey while we talk.
Yeah. See, I didn't even see this story till Darren posted it up, and then I did a little bit of digging afterwards and found the other stuff. So Nintendo has announced the worldwide release of the NX console will be in spring 2017.
Yep.
That's a year away.
Yep, and that is probably fiscal. So you're talking.
Well, they didn't talk anything about fiscal. They just said spring.
Yeah, they're not mentioned March specifically.
Yeah, roughly. So before the end of Q4.
They would do it before the end of.
So the interesting things to note about that announcement are that this is probably the first time Nintendo has done a worldwide launch.
Yeah.
Everything else has been staggered. Wii was staggered. GameCube was staggered. Wii U was staggered as well, I want to say.
This will be the first worldwide launch in general in a while. PS4 was staggered. Xbox One was staggered.
Good point. Yeah, PlayStation 4 was out.
Here first.
It was out in Europe and wherever first, and then it came to Japan. Yeah, it totally was. Because I went to the local Joshin down the road, and there was tons left. Nobody was buying them.
Went, one Xbox One, please.
No, I already had that there at that point. But I had I was like, should I buy one?
Yes, was the answer.
And it wasn't. It was relatively well priced as well. I want to say the Joshin, but yeah. So the big things from this announcement were that it's going to be spring. And it's NX is still the code name. It's not the actual name yet. And then they dropped some other news in there as well, which got out over Twitter, in that they are not going to be talking about the console at E3.
They're not going to be talking about anything at E3. Sorry.
No, about Zelda.
Except for Zelda, which was also hit with a delay into March 2017.
Weird that.
Yeah,
almost. That's odd that happened. It's almost like they're not going to bring it out for the Wii U.
Well, that's
Well, no, they will. It'll come out. That version will come out in Q2 2017. I'm gonna say.
so that's probably going to be your launch game because they've confirmed that it's going to be coming out. But yeah, odd decision for them to go. We're not going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about Zelda.
Yeah.
And just Zelda.
But also makes me wonder. Maybe they'll bring back Space World. I don't know. You guys know what Space World is, yeah?
Is that your name for Mario
so
Galaxy?
around the time, like, there was a time when there were two TGSs a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in between that, Nintendo had their own thing, which was called Space World, which was just a Nintendo exhibition.
I do not remember
Are
that.
they?
Right.
No, they're doing
They
theme
got
parks
rid of
now.
it. They got rid of that about the GameCube era, I want to say. But Nintendo had this thing called Space World where that was where they made their big announcements, bar like consoles which still were announced at E3. Like all the games announcements and stuff came out of Space World and people got to play them there. So maybe they'll bring back Space World. I doubt it, but
Space World's such a weird
I know,
name for
right?
that. Like, I don't think Space World and go, I wonder what interesting news will come out of that. I go, Space World! I can't wait to go there!
Gotta go to space.
You're already on a space world, Ali.
Just gonna be about like going outside in space or something. Is that what
No,
you're
we
gonna
are
Because
we are
we are
on
on
a
a
world
world
that is
that
in
is
space.
space.
works on so many levels?
Mainly those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, I'm a bit worried about Nintendo at the moment.
I don't know. Mitomo's doing pretty good for them.
Eh,
They not hit 18 million users or something.
Yeah. PSN
Not
just
like-
made more money than the entire company.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like that Nintendo were making relatively risky but understandable and at times smart moves, doing things like moving away from E3 and doing their own Nintendo Direct stuff. I thought that was a good idea. I thought that, like,
Well,
rather than doing
they've
a
sold the Seattle Mariners, haven't they? Isn't that the thing? They've sold like.
Yeah, I forgot it. I couldn't remember what team it was, but yeah, they sold the Mariners. Oh,
There you go. There's
time.
some money for them at least.
Why did they want a baseball team?
Because
Also,
Japan
why-
loves baseball.
Yeah, Japanese people
So
love baseball.
why did they want an American baseball team?
That I'm not sure of.
Aha, yeah.
Let alone the Seattle Mariners. I don't know why that was. But
Nelson Cruz, motherfucker.
yeah. I
But
think
yeah,
I still think there's an idea in a safe somewhere that just says 3D open world Pokemon RPG.
yeah,
and
but
then
at the
they
moment
make that
that's
and
kind-
everybody buys speedboats.
But at this point, that is a rotting cake covered in maggots. Like, what? Is that not basically Pokemon Go?
No.
But is that not basically Pokemon Go?
No,
No.
'cause that's AR. You're talking like if they made like a fully fledged 3D Pokemon game, you wouldn't be interested in playing that.
I absolutely would be interested in playing that. I
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
think it would ever, but I don't think it would ever happen now. I think that Pokemon Go is what that is.
No.
I think that one guy opened that safe too early and went, mobiles are cool. And I'm not saying Pokemon Go won't be good or successful. I'm just saying that I think that's kind of where your Pokemon open world thing went.
I don't know. Have they not? Isn't there a new Pokemon coming out like
Sun and
this
Moon comes
next
at the end of the
year?
year.
Yeah. Like,
Comes out
those-
There are
Christmas.
always a new Pokemon.
Christmas time.
There's always a Pokemon in a lighthouse, and
I can't believe that this one's called Pokemon Christmas Time. I'm super excited now.
but yeah, no, Pokemon sells like fucking crazy. Like
Yeah.
there's no like that is their big
Does
Worldwide.
it sell as well as it used to?
Yes.
in Japan. Yeah, fuck.
It sells worldwide. Like
Yeah, it sells worldwide and it sells in Japan, but does it sell huge worldwide? Because Japan, like, they can't survive on Japan sales alone.
Well, that's the thing. They now have like this Yukai watch that's eating into their their revenue stream for that because it's basically the same thing,
Yeah.
and that's more popular than Pokemon right now. But I think Nintendo consoles are the only places where you can play the UK Watch games. So I don't know.
But yeah, it's just I feel that they're being very, very cagey, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. Like, this could have been their opportunity, and I'm not saying E3 specifically, but around now, like, God, they could have got out in front of E3 and been the big story of, these are the things we're doing, these are the things we want to do, this is what the NX... Like, I'm not saying everything about it, but what is that? Like, what is the NX at this point?
Well, you got to wonder whether or not it's a case of the hardware isn't final, or there's been some debate internally because, of course, like Nintendo's just changed its president, and like Iwata died. Like, there's been a lot of like internal like changes at Nintendo over the last couple of years. Maybe that's factored into it, or maybe they're just trying to go right. Well, our market is Japan, so let's just announce this thing at TGS.
I don't know. I just think that they are losing. It's not even losing the confidence, but it's weird to say this about Nintendo. They're just kind of fading into the background at this point. Like, every now and again we'll hear an announcement, but like, there's nothing that I've looked at Nintendo and gone, that's cool, that is even interesting. Like, the NX is interesting, but it's not interesting until I know what it is.
I mean, Star Fox just came out Friday, and that was met with really lackluster reviews.
Yeah.
And they outsourced that game to Platinum, like the guys who made all these action games that are coming out recently, and apparently it was bog standard cookie cutter fare with nothing really to add to it.
Yeah.
If I had to hazard a guess, I think at E3 we're going to see a lot of the app partnership come out. I think that's where they're going to be hedging a lot of their bets until the NX comes out.
Yeah. At this point, the NX is a cardboard box with the word mystery written on it. Like,
what's in the box?
But that's it, and I'm losing I'm losing a bit of patience for them just being like, be excited for the NX. We're not going to tell you why.
Whether you're excited about the NX or not, like, the next at least 6 months in this hobby are going to be like the craziest fucking thing you've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Like, a potential new Xbox One, a potential new PS4, a new Nintendo console, all within the space of 6 months.
Absolutely. Like, there's the difference that, like, I'm interested in what is happening right now, but the individual interest for the NX is not there for me, like, as a console, because it is nothing at the moment. It is a name.
Shadows and mirrors.
Yeah, looking at that in a sense of the greater picture of what's going to happen to Nintendo, the way that Microsoft and Sony are like revamping their consoles, 3 years into the cycle. That is all very interesting, but I'm meaning to the broader public eye that they've basically given up on the Wii U, so anyone who was going to buy one is either going to be like, I'll pick it up when it's cheap because it's going to be cheap soon, or is like, well, what's the point in buying it? They've completely dropped support for it, and then there's nothing in between that. They're just basically saying is, wait for the NX. We've given up in the Wii U, just wait for the NX. 2 years in between that, who cares? It's absolutely
the Nintendo way, though.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
But that's the Nintendo way because Nintendo have always been very successful.
No.
No, okay, that's an absolute lie.
The N64, the GameCube, everything after the SNES was kind of a downhill struggle until the
Wii, and then the Wii.
Yeah, and then they hit gold, and then you still have their success graph where there's this big massive spike and everything else is just low.
I mean, I know the thing is that Nintendo has a ridiculous amount of a ridiculous amount of money sitting there that they can use. They could do nothing for 20 years and still be a company. But it's just a broader sense of where are they going, and why are they not communicating that to fans?
Well, this is the thing. Maybe this is because of the internal changes at Nintendo. The only PR that's came out about Nintendo recently has been relatively bad with like the whole Alison Wrap stuff and like leading people along.
The most that they've communicated to their fans is through tweets about fiscal reports. That's bad. Like Nintendo have been better in the last few years of, no pun intended, talking directly to their customers. But
how do they do that? I don't understand. How do they do the direct talk?
So imagine Reggie, right? But as a puppet.
That was still one of the best things.
That was fantastic.
Well, you could say that Nintendo had a direct feed to their customers. It was kind of like a
Nintendo Direct? No way.
Is that a catalog service? I don't.
Yeah, you send in your orders and they give you by the number of responses.
I'm just waiting for Nintendo Prime.
You can only buy games.
Nintendo Instant.
You can only buy Nintendo games through Nintendo Prime. Any other NX
even
games?
more funny, like if they brought Nintendo Prime and you couldn't buy Metroid on it, that would just piss more people off.
No, they're just.
Yeah, fuck you, Nintendo.
But yeah, I just feel that they're losing a bit of their good grace. They're taking advantage of that a little bit, and there are so many games at the moment, and stuff is happening so fast that they can't expect people just to wait around for the next Nintendo thing because it's Nintendo. Especially after the Wii U.
Yep.
Like they can't just fall back on that good grace anymore.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I've had one since Christmas, and Mario Maker has been the lifeblood of that machine.
Mario Maker has been, I'm going to guess, the only thing you've played on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I am planning on picking up Wind Waker because they've gone down to like 20 quid just now for like some of the collections of games. We've also got like Yoshi's Woolly World here somewhere. Yeah, but I haven't played that. It's been Mario Maker on that thing. And I did have the
Twilight Princess HD.
Why? Why would you do that?
But why not, Mark?
Because it's a terrible game.
You're a terrible game.
Yes, therefore I am more in the like position to know that is also a terrible game.
But yeah, jumping back really quickly to Pokemon, the sales of the first 3 days worldwide for that game were 3 million copies, 1.5 million of that being sold in Japan, and the rest of the world. At the end of 2014, it had sold 2.4 million copies in Japan, and as of the end of March this year, worldwide it had sold 11.84 million copies.
So why don't they just...
So in 2 years, they'd sent 12 million copies essentially. That's still not terrible. I would take that.
I would not put that under even not terrible. I put that under good at minimum.
Yeah, so even if they were just to release a Pokemon game every 2 years.
On what?
Whatever the latest Nintendo handheld is.
I think, do you remember you used to get those like the proprietary things and it would just be one game on it?
Nintendo had those, the Game & Watch. But
but like that, but just Pokemon.
Yeah, you could do that.
Just release one of them.
Yeah.
It's basically a 3DS.
Yeah. But with only one hard-coded game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Get me Reggie in the phone.
Except it would need an internet connection to do its updates.
What updates? Pokemon.
Pokemon Omega and Alpha have had 2 major updates to the game since release that you got through Nintendo Store.
What did they do? If you can
justify,
justify these updates.
I have no idea what they did. But
Pikachu's now 10% cuter!
That could be what it is. Yeah.
Nah, they don't need internet connections.
Let's do it. How are you going to do trading globally?
Link cables.
Globally?
Airplanes.
One long fucking cable.
So what you do is you go to your local game store and they will have things like special cables that you plug in to your Pokemon machine that connect to the Pokeverse.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Give me Reggie in the phone.
It's Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi isn't exactly expensive. You can buy a Wi-Fi dongle for $10.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
you don't need a 500-mile long cable.
No, you go to your local game store and they do it for you.
And they have the 500-mile long cable.
That's
I would
just
like.
called
I would
it-
like to see a 500-mile long cable. I would like to see the size of that.
That's just called
It'll be
the
500 miles, you idiot.
It's just called the internet.
Yeah. So why can't you plug into the internet using wireless internets?
Wireless internet doesn't exist in Nintendo.
It does.
Have you played a 3DS?
Yes, I have.
They're not very good with wireless.
Yeah, I didn't say that they were good. I said that they existed so you could do trading.
Nah.
That's all I said. It would require wireless internet connection for trading globally. That's all I said. I didn't say it would need it for anything else. It's purely for trading.
One day we'll agree on something, Darren. One day.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the harbingers of the apocalypse.
I was hoping
You and I agree on
I was
something.
hoping you were going to say no, we won't.
I didn't agree with you or disagree with you there.
I
I'm saying
know.
I'm pretty sure that it's gonna end the universe if we agree on anything.
I disagree.
You think it won't end the universe?
No, I don't think it will. Of course it won't end the fucking universe. Rabble, 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 rabble.
I think it would. Well, I think it wouldn't, but it would be the first step on many steps to ending the universe.
That's one of the 4 tires that get lit, and then
Exactly.
the other one's Mark going back and playing Need for Speed Most Wanted without kicking it.
Oh yeah.
That game's amazing, by the way. I don't know what your fucking problem with it is, except that you're bad at it.
Probably. That might be why.
You are so... It gets really awkward in a room when you get really angry at a game. Kicking consoles, running yourself.
Throwing plastic guitars across the room.
We're just sitting there. It's kind of like when your parents fight when your friends are over.
I
Okay.
get angry at games. That's not.
I look at you and consoles as my parents, Mark. You're the only 2 consistent things in my life. So yeah, Nintendo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even they're consistent.
Nope.
So is that going to do us then?
I think that's going to do us. Yeah, I think that's all the news for this week. Anything else happen? What do you think?
Well, there's that one little bit I appended at the end.
What was that?
Look at the virtual console restrictions.
Yes! Ah, it makes me so angry, and it's old news as well.
Yeah, this was announced when they announced the SNES games, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
they're
they
going to be like
announced-
new
it was
3DS only.
Back in March, they announced that on the 24th of March, Super Mario Kart Earthbound Donkey Kong Country will be released on Virtual Store. And April 14th, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest will be available. But they're only available to the new 3DS. None of the other consoles can apparently handle the processing required of a SNES game.
Hey, Mario Kart demanding.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, speaking with Game Informer, Nintendo representative explained that, as previously announced, the new Nintendo 3DS has improved CPU, which enables SNES games to run on the system with quality results. The SNES games will also include Pixel Perfect mode, which allows players to see their games as the original TV resolution and aspect ratio. Because apparently no other console can handle it. I could program a bloody Game Boy to probably do it. Well, maybe not a Game Boy, but
I was
you
about
know.
to say.
But like, you know, I have a PSP. That is ancient technology in comparison to a 3DS.
Absolutely is.
I can get it to run SNES games
Yep.
perfectly. No glitching, no slow frame rates, no crappy jumps in the music. It runs it perfectly, but Nintendo can't get their own stuff to emulate on their own hardware.
In case Nintendo or Sony are listening, Darren is only talking theoretically and has not done this to his PSP.
No, I have. I don't care,
Damn
Sony.
it! Damn it, Darren!
I
You
have.
ruined everything!
I have theoretically downloaded an emulator,
Ah,
put it
so-
onto a memory card, put it into the PSP and had it boot up this.
That's why Darren's got his head shaved. He's in prison. He's podcasting from prison.
I haven't played games on it. I have just put it up on a ROM emulator.
Just
I have no ROMs to play on it because that would be the illegal part.
No, but you just dump your own ROMs.
I don't have my cartridges with me, so I can't do that. My cartridges are still up in Glasgow.
Done.
Then I can dump my ROMs.
Very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of dumping ROMs.
Let's dump this podcast.
Yep. But also,
also
we should really tell people where they can email address.
Where they can email
address us.
You can email address us at headsetabuse@hotmail.co.uk.
And there's now a fancy button on the Libsyn.
There is now a fancy, but I really like the fancy button on the Libsyn page.
It's very nice. You should visit our Libsyn page.
Visit our Libsyn page. That's headsetabuse.libsyn.com. Libsyn.
Yep.
You can also find us on Twitter at Headset Abuse and on Facebook at facebook.com/Headset Abuse.
We are working on the Libsyn page. It's not final yet.
Yeah, you guys have been doing good work.
As pretty as it's going to be, but Mark has been putting in lots of work, and I'm going to have a wee look and make some tweaks because there's some stuff you just can't get to work.
Yep. It's coming along. I'm really glad with the work you guys have been doing. It's a big change from what it used to be anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's huge compared to what it used to be. If you look at the post from like 2 podcasts ago, it's horrible compared to what it is now. Mark has been doing some good work.
Tried.
Not hard enough, Ali.
No. Could do better. Same like my 3rd grade teacher. Anyway. Repressed memories aside.
Yep.
So, what have you got coming up for the following week, Ali?
Baseball. Baseball. I've got
Did not see that one. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, that's how I lost a tooth.
That kind of comes out of left field.
I have live baseball tomorrow. Got an away game in Edinburgh.
Try not losing your teeth.
To be fair, the number of times I've played baseball to the number of teeth I've lost is quite good. Not great, but quite good. I'm going to try and not play that much of the shows so I can play other things. I'm hoping to play out some Ultimate Chicken Horse, maybe get back into The Witcher.
Maybe pick up Dark Souls 3 and play through that.
No. I think that's about. You know me. I'll end up coming back with something weird, more Professor Layton games. Matchstick puzzles.
But you, Mark, what's your plans?
I'm going to try and get some stuff in, but I have dental surgery next Saturday. So
fun. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out next month.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Taken out next Saturday.
So can you let me know how it goes, because I'm really tempted to just have them completely knock me out.
This is it's an interesting situation we find ourselves in, because I'm going to either get a filling in my wisdom tooth or get it pulled on Thursday.
Yay!
So nobody will be on the podcast next week.
No, we're all gonna have. Mine's a little bit later in the month. So
yeah, I've been told that I am not allowed the surgery unless I show up with someone, because somebody has to escort me home.
So I'm really wanting that. I want to be completely out of it. I have a major fear of the dentist. It's horrible.
As far as I'm aware, I will not be out for it, but I'll be in a state where I won't know what's going on, if that makes any sense.
That'd be great. That would be so good.
Apparently my jaw is going to swell, and I will be incredibly sore for about a week. So
I've heard mixed reports on people getting their wisdom teeth pulled. That
it really depends on how it goes. If it's a particularly difficult extraction, then it causes your jaw to just balloon. But if it goes, with few troubles, it's only a day or two that will hurt for.
Cool. I hope so.
But if it's really awkward to get a hold of, you're fucked.
Nah, you can see my nah.
Which is why I'm worried about getting mine extracted, because I think it'll be a very difficult extraction. which is why I'm thinking about just getting it touched up.
Yeah, mine are impacted, so they have to come out. So.
Yeah, mine are impacted as well.
But anyway, enough of our terrible dental hygiene for the people.
Hey, that's nothing to do with my a baseball to the face and a compacted wisdom tooth is not bad dental hygiene.
What have you got going on games-wise, Mark?
I'm going to try and play more Nuts and Bolts. I was thinking about maybe picking up Fall Blocks for the Wii U or the new one for the 3DS. I know. Other than that, was maybe looking at picking up Ori and the Blind Forest, and then maybe playing some more Dark Souls 2, depending on how things go.
Cool.
Darren, what about you? I already know the answer to this question. So
I'm gonna play Dark Souls and then snap my Metal Gear Solid 5 disc in half. Cause why? I'm never gonna play it. What does it matter?
No, I'm probably going to be playing Dark Souls 3 because that's my game series. I've been thinking about going back and playing other old games like, I don't know, something that's up there. I might start playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate because I have that and haven't played it yet.
Yeah, you should totally play that. Yeah.
I should totally play it because I've heard good things about it. I guess I should. I don't know. I might even go really old school and go back to my PlayStation 3.
Or didn't you not finish Fallout?
Fallout 4?
Yeah, I barely touched it.
That game, man.
I didn't enjoy it too much. Like the stuff that I've played in it, it's been good, but it's not really.
It never grabbed me. Yeah. Like I was like.
It was more Fallout, and more Fallout's good, but it didn't grab me like Fallout 3. I really enjoyed Fallout 3.
Man, like the opinion seems to be that all over the place because Therese is in the exact same boat. She's just it was just.
It's not a bad game. It has
it is good and it has lots of fun. But in a world where Fallout 3 exists, why would I play Fallout 4?
Because just before Fallout 4 came out, I went back and played Fallout 3, and Jesus Christ, that game is a fucking train wreck. Now, not at the time, obviously, but oh my god, it's so bad to go back to. It's horrendous. Everything about it, it's horrible.
Okay.
I got to Megaton, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This game's fucking garbage.
That's why you need to play it on PC.
Yeah, it's all the Pip-Boy stuff that's the problem.
But I'll probably be Dark Souls 3ing it. Maybe some older games. I'll probably play Neo again, and probably some point over the weekend I intend to go and see Captain America.
Okay. We're back and
Yep, those were a series of words that you people were talking over each other for.
I was using actual words.
I was yawning and talking.
Yeah. Yes, you were.
I'm hoping to go and see Captain America 3 as well.
Yeah, let me know.
I don't know why I would call it that.
I might leave it till Monday and do it on the bank holiday.
I might wait until someone's there with the unlimited card.
Why does that matter?
Because I don't want to pay for it.
Why would you get in with someone else's unlimited card?
Because Meerkat Mondays or 2 for Tuesdays or whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay.
Right, we need to wrap this up because there's someone at my door.
Yep, and I need to go get some tea.
Right, we will see you all next week. Thank you very much for joining me, Mark and Darren.
Bye.
Bye.
We will see you again. Goodbye.